Hey guys, it's Troy here, and I like to be surprised once in a while. I don't like bad surprises, nobody does, but I like to be pleasantly surprised, and quite honestly, this has been a pleasant surprise to me. It's the OASO. It is a retractable fountain pen, and quite honestly, I was familiar with the brand because I do own another one of their pens, but I didn't know about this one until I was looking at my friend Chris Rapp's YouTube channel some time ago, I think back in September maybe, and I saw this and I said, you know what, I want to try one, because on AliExpress these are only going for like $11 or $12. So I said, why not? Let's give it a shot. Besides that, I was already waiting on another retractable pen, the Endless Creator, which I've already done a video for, and I was pleasantly surprised with this pen. Generally, I don't like fine pens. I'm sometimes disappointed in what I get, especially some Oriental or Chinese-made pens. This one here in particular, though, was a pleasant surprise to me. I'm surprised that I like this pen as much as I do and that I use it as much as I do. There have been some releases lately of some retractable fountain pens that have been abysmal as far as I'm concerned. One on social media, I did a video on that. Horrific experience in that. It's not a resealable, or it's maybe retractable, but it doesn't self-seal. This one here self-seals a little differently than some of the major brands that are out there for retractable pens. I'll even show you how some of those other pens compare to here. So when you get it, this is what you get. This pen sits in the package, and it does have some ink cartridges that are available for it that you can put in, and it also had one that was empty inside it. Well, I went ahead and I filled it, used a blunt tip syringe, and went ahead and took an ink of my choice rather than using their cartridges, and I filled it, I think, with a Diamine Night Lilac is what I put into this thing. So when you look at it, it's not really big. It's actually fairly small. You do have right there where the pen retracts, or the nib will retract from. This is all plastic here with a metallic looking colored band. You've got a serviceable clip here, nothing really special. It is fairly stiff, and you've got a nice click and a nice push. Now when you go to open it up, you're going to find that it is, like you see here, a cartridge pen. I don't know about converters because I haven't tried one and I wasn't about to. Now you can see I've actually used this quite a bit. I've gone through half a cartridge on this, and I've been using it quite a bit as a daily carry and here at my desk. I've also been finding it's been fairly good for note-taking. For instance, I've been taking notes on all of the pre-work stuff and the registration and the courses I got to take to do orientation for a college. And on my notebook, just regular old notebook paper, I've been using a roller ball because I don't want it to feather and bleed through, but this pen actually does fairly good. So it does sit in there, and it looks like it's really not secure, but it is, and it just rides on that click, or on that feed, and it's kind of spring-loaded here. Much like one of the other pens or some of the others, the spring is down here, and that's how it's actuated, is by pressing down that button, which presses down on the converter, and as long as you, or a cartridge rather, not a converter, but as long as you keep the proper size cartridge in here, you should be good on that. So let's take a look at the nib, if we can get a close-up view of that, what that looks like. And I don't know how well we can see it. I'll try to get a better close-up, but there's a little membrane here. I wanted to see if I could actually get you a better look at how this operates here. And I've got my glove on, my light glove. So let's see if we can get you a really good look at that actuation of that membrane. You can see that membrane just kind of splits there when it comes out. But that actually works fairly well. Pleasantly surprised how well it works and how it's actually kept my pen fairly moist, or the nib from drying out. So, taking a look at the box here, all of the writing here, with the exception of the brand name here and the K016, it's all in Chinese. And the exception of Write the Future down here, and again the brand, OASO. So, what I did was, and I'm going to show you what it says according to my Google Translate app on my phone, okay? So, since I'm on the back, let's go ahead and start with the back. Basically, warning, OASO, it translates this as awesome. So, implementation standards. Let's see, please use universal ink cartridges with the same specifications. Let's see, and this says ink cartridge replacement instructions. So that's essentially what's on the back here. Flip it over, and we can see here it says press, seal, press pen, type tip extraction, financial acumen, which I'm assuming means like it's affordable, write smoothly, upright pen grip, universal ink bag, or from what I can glean from the translations and moving on down further, pen tip sealed compartment, moisturizing and anti-failing, inlet and outlet sealing valve. So yeah, that's about as good a translation as I'm going to be able to get of what is written on the package. So that's really all that's in there. You're not missing anything by me not taking this out, because all there was is these 4 ink cartridges and the pen. So you take that out, and it actually, you know, it's a decent size to be able to write with. If you don't like the triangular grip, well, triangular grip is kind of molded here into the plastic on the side there. You can probably see that a little bit as I rotate that pen around. So you get indentation here, and so what you're stuck with are 2 finger points at which to hold an index finger and a thumb, let's say, but nothing really on the bottom. It's just kind of a rounded surface there. So, I mean, it's a decent size, and it's actually a very light pen. I was surprised at how little this thing weighed, especially when you pick up like a Pilot, and you think about, wow, man, that's all metal, and it's really heavy by comparison. So, but the real trick though, does it write well? So let's take a look and see if this actually writes well. Now that I've shown you some dimensions of the pen, and I've shown you some of the features of the pen, I've shown you how that little membrane operates for instead of a trapdoor kind of thing, and I've shown you its competition in terms of its class of retractable pens, so you have a comparison. Let's go ahead and put nib to paper, because this is the part that I've really actually enjoyed and I was surprised. Okay, so this is the OASO, O-A-S-O. This is the K016, and this comes, it's said with a 0.5 millimeter nib. What that translates to, as far as I'm concerned, that's a fine nib, and it does write a fairly fine line. With most retractable pens, because the nib throw is actually fairly short coming out of the end of that barrel or that end of that section, you're not really going to get much line variation, but we can try. Yeah, really nothing for line variation. That's going to be a good stiff nib. However, here's what I'm going to tell you. This nib, for what it is, flows great, and it's actually fairly smooth. It is to the point where I don't even want to think about doing any sort of smoothing to it. It's been great every time. First time, every time I've gone to write with this thing, which is what excellence means to me. A good pen, regardless of the price, and regardless of the materials it's made of, does it write? Does it write well? Is it reliable? And does it do it at a decent price? Great. Then I've got a keeper. And this here, be honest with you, above all my other retractable pens, I've been more impressed with this for the $12 price I paid than I was for the $150 Pilot, or let's say the $50 Endless Creator. I would choose this over that Endless Creator. Even though I waited for months and months, a better part of a year, for that Endless Creator, this here, a $12 pen or so, $11 through AliExpress, it's actually fairly impressive. I put some Diamine Night Lilac. So that's what I put for ink. So let's see if we can actually wet that out a little bit. Yeah, you can see a really dark purple there. So I've got absolutely no complaints. On ordinary notebook paper, you do get a little more feedback because it's a little more toothy, but I just have got no complaints. I've got nothing but praise so far for this pen, and like I said, I've used it a lot. My pen pals have seen letters come from this thing. You've always got a nice thin line. It is reliable. It is inexpensive, and I'm pleasantly surprised. So if you're looking for something that's a retractable fountain pen and something that you're going to look at and go, yeah, this doesn't look like much, but whoa, actually it's been a great service pen for me, and I've been keeping it on my desk an awful lot, and I've been using it as a carry pen an awful lot. So there you go, the OASO, the K016, and nice little retractable pen, great buy for the money.